Good morning, everyone. My name is MightyStream. I'm going to do the May 5th just for today in a meditation. The title of the meditation for today is Any Lengths. Any Lengths. I was ready to go to any lengths to stay clean. That comes from the basic text, page 132. Any lengths? Newcomers ask. What do you mean, any lengths? Looking back at our active addiction and the lengths we were willing to go to in order to stay high can help to explain. Were we willing to drive many miles to get drugs? Yes, we usually were. Then it makes sense that if we are as concerned about staying clean as we were about using, we will try anything to find a ride to a meeting. In our addiction, didn't we often do crazy, insane things or use unknown substances at the direction of others? Then why do we often find it so hard to take direction in recovery, especially when the direction is designed to help us grow? And when we use, didn't we often in desperation turn to our higher power saying, please just get me out of this one? Then why do we find it so hard to ask for God's help in our recovery? When we used, we usually had an open mind when it came to finding ways and means to get more drugs. If we can apply this same principle of open mindedness to our recovery, we may surprise ourselves about how easily, we may surprise ourselves by how easily we begin to grasp the NA program. Our best thinking, it is often said, got us into the rooms of Narcotics Anonymous. If we are willing to go to any lengths, follow directions, and stay open minded, we can stay clean. Just for today, I'm willing to go to any lengths to stay clean. I will become as open minded and ready to take direction as I need to be. Let's take a moment of silence followed by the we version of the Serenity Prayer. Moment of silence now. Thank you, God. Grant us the serenity to accept the things that we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Just for today, please and thank you. Any lanes. I like this meditation because it's reminding me of all the crazy things I did in my active addiction. Things that I was willing to put up with, tolerate, be around, especially being around people that I knew I didn't care for, but I needed to make sure I got high. Yeah, so we all should be able to tap into that memory. But I don't want you to just tap into it. That's not the purpose of the meditation, right? Usually, when we do a meditation, especially if you're like me, I love the morning hours, the wee morning hours. It's just a little past 4 a.m. I love it when I can get up early enough to do the meditation uh, before, before anyone else wakes up. But generally speaking, the purpose of doing a meditation, usually reading something else that someone else wrote and thinking about it, ruminating on it, processing it. Someone contacted me the other day and they said that they read the meditation, they listened to the meditation, they read it, and then they listened again or something like that, right? So there was something in the meditation that struck a chord with them, and they wanted to go back over it and make sure that they received what they were supposed to get. And apparently, the first time that they went over it, they got some of what they needed, but they needed to go back over it and really, really think about how it applies to them. So, generally speaking, when we're doing a meditation and we're taking the time to consider the thoughts, the process, the experience, the strength, the hope of another person by reading whatever they've written or listening to whatever they've said, the whole purpose of it is for self-improvement, right? Or recovery, restoration, um, to heal, to get better. However you look at it, the whole purpose of doing it is so that you're better, right, than what you were. And so, really, when we're looking at this meditation, it's giving us plenty of opportunity to think about what lengths we were willing to go compared to the lengths that we'll go today for recovery. What lengths did I go to for active addiction? What did I put up with? What did I tolerate? And you mean to tell me today I'm not going to at least meet that energy when it comes to my recovery? A lot of people will not be able to say, yeah, I'll go to any lengths because they know that they haven't, right? But hopefully that's not you. I know I've been that person that was not willing to go to any lengths. I didn't pick up, thank goodness. Right? I didn't get high, thank goodness. But there were plenty of times I was not willing to do that one extra thing for my recovery. Plenty. And I'm not boasting about it. I'm just saying I can relate that, yeah, we want to be able to say, oh, I went to any lengths in my addiction. I should go to any lengths in my recovery. Those are just words that roll off a duck's back. It's a beautiful cliche that can stir very introspective thinking, but it only stirs it if we allow it. When was the last time you went to any lengths for your recovery? Think about it, because I'm sure you have the answer. But the problem with us is that a lot of times we're not willing to think deep enough or long enough. We're not willing to get uncomfortable in our own thought process to pull up out of the mire the information that we need. The question is, when was the last time you went to any lengths for your recovery? It should be pretty recent. Matter of fact, this is another possibility. There is this possibility that you are so willing to go to any lengths for your recovery that it's become second nature and you don't identify it as that. It's not a problem. It's something that you just do. You make a meeting on a regular basis, you share on a regular basis, you work your steps with your sponsor, and you help other people in recovery. You give back freely. You do service work. But sometimes going to any lengths is a little bit different than all of that stuff. Sometimes it requires discomfort. And that's where a lot of us unconsciously draw the line on discomfort. There's this beautiful recovering addict. She was being asked to share. And man, I think she told me she had a couple decades clean. And she was reaching out to me and she just was like, there's going to be so many old timers in the room. I'm talking about a lot of clean time. And I just feel uncomfortable, right? That was going to any length for her to actually show up and share. For her, that was going to any length. Sometimes it's getting out of our comfort zone to further this message of recovery. So let's think about it. Let's think about maybe it means, maybe for you, it might mean going somewhere out of town to be a speaker somewhere. And, not that you can't do it, but why would you? You have plenty of opportunities in your local town, right? Maybe that is it. Cross state lines for a lot of other things, usually to be extradited, but we we crossed a lot of lines today. Let's think about not drawing so many lines in the sand when it comes to recovery, but crossing those barriers, crossing those lines, going to any lengths for our recovery. And the opposite of what we did in active addiction should be true when we think about going to any lengths in recovery. See, any lengths in active addiction just furthered death for us, right? It furthered the payment plan of suicide. It furthered negativity, right? It furthered disconnect, disassociation, right? It ended a lot of relationships, right? So when we're talking about the flip side of this coin, and we're talking about going to any lengths for recovery, here's one thing that you can always analyze before you make your decision to do it or not to do it. Does it help my life, my recovery, and or someone else's? Just that one question. Myself, does it benefit myself and my recovery or someone else's? And a lot of times, if you can answer that, it's probably going to be worth it. And it may be a little discomfort, but you can do it. And I believe in you. My name is MightyStream. I want for you to have a beautiful day on purpose. I have so many things planned today, but I know one thing. It's going to be a beautiful day. You know why? Because I've already decided that. I've already decided that no matter what happens, that I'm going to extract the positivity out of it. And with that in mind, I want for you to do the same. Talk to you tomorrow.